God. I have such a crush on her. Ugh. It's disgusting. I disgust myself.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would absolutely love it if you like the videos, if you've been coming back every day and you're debating whether or not this is for you. I would love it if you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps the videos to grow, it allows me to keep creating, and it just overall inspires me. And if that 30-second intro bothers you, this is not the channel for you. Now, I just want to go over a couple of things before we start this video, because yesterday's video, I don't know what was going on. As I said, I know Big Brother has brought a lot of new fans to my channel, or subscribers, let me say, because y'all are just like me. Let me not say fans, like I'm a celebrity. Subscribers to this channel. And I feel like some of y'all do not know how we rock here on this channel. So anyways, if you are here and you know the deal, you can skip to like the 4-minute mark, and that's probably where the review will start. But I just want to go over a couple of things. Number one, you will be blocked if you are disrespectful. That means to me, to other people in the comments, or depending on what you say about the house guests. We are not going to go calling people out of their names. We're not going to insult people. You're not going to call me things, and you're not going to call other people in the comments things. At the end of the day, this is a TV show that we all love. We're all obsessed. We're all here just in good fun. It's summer fun. But when stuff starts to get aggressive, starts to get mean, that is where we are going to put a stop to it. Yesterday, I had to block 4 of y'all. I don't know what was going on or why y'all thought that we could get crazy in the comments, but we're not doing that. So let's start there. Number 2. Listen to what I say before you comment, okay? I pinned a post on my last video talking about specifically what I was discussing when it came to T-Core and Chelsea. I never said that T-Core is Chelsea's target. Go back and listen to the videos. I simply said that T-Core is vehemently against putting up Chelsea because of a specific alliance or a specific shared reason that I don't believe is shared with Chelsea. I do not believe Chelsea has the same intentions with T-Core. Do I think she's gunning for T-Core right now? No. Do I think she possibly would in the future? Yes. Go back and watch the video before you comment. Number 3. Let's not put speculative comments on the videos. Yesterday, the feeds were down for almost 8 hours, 8-9 hours. And people ran rampant, not just on here, but on Reddit, on Twitter, everywhere. People were saying, Leah got expelled, this person got expelled, this person said this word, this person said that word. If you've noticed, in my videos, I do not feed into a lot of that, or I very on a high level talk about it, because I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I do not believe it is fair that CBS cuts the feeds every single time that these people try to discuss these topics, because it doesn't allow the people that are coming under fire to defend themselves. It does not give them an opportunity to say something. With the Angela situation, all we saw was edited clips from CBS. And at the end of the day, let's be for real, that situation was not nearly as bad as they made it seem with all of the feed cuts. So please do not put speculative things in here. Do not say this person said this word. Do not say this person made quote unquote or comments. I'm not even going to say the word because I know it's going to start something. Let's not do that. Thank you so much. Okay. Love you guys, and I love that we're all here, but I feel like as a content creator, it is my job to ensure that things don't go crazy on my video. So this can be a pleasant experience for both me and every single person watching. Okay, we're at the 4-minute mark, so let's begin. So yesterday, the AI Instigator was deployed in the house, and girl, it started some mayhem. It started some mayhem. These people, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I thought the AI Instigator was gonna be something crazy. Like I didn't think it was gonna be something that was going to actually shake up the house. But baby, whoever got that Instigator, we had drama. So anyways, as we all know, the feeds were down for about 8 hours yesterday. Quinn did actually reveal later in the day that they woke up at 11 BBT, which is like 3 p.m. Eastern or whatever. So they definitely woke up late. That was part of the reason why the feeds were just down. They let them sleep. And we also found out that the AI Instigator happened. We come back to the feeds like this.
Microchip with two people's name on it or whatever and bring it up to
Who said,
Yeah. But I think it could also very well be her listening or, who, you know, because she said that. And I've been wondering how that was going to play out because everything is very literal. Like everything she said.
So in that clip, we obviously see all of them are discussing what the AI Instigator said. It basically sounds like a message was played randomly by a deepfake Quinn. Quinn admits that the deepfake was of him, and it said as follows. There was some talk about Tucker's mental state, whether or not they can handle it anymore. They should have gotten Rubina out. Something about a showmance, them holding hands together, and also Pentagon for life. Those were some of the big pieces. Now, Rubina immediately meltdown.
No reason to feel stupid. We just hold hands. It could just be very solid, and this is something part of it.
Meltdown. Rubina is sobbing. And she goes upstairs at some point, and Tucker is comforting her. It really, really hurt Rubina, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, it didn't sound that crazy to me. To me, what was said did not sound that crazy for all of that reaction. I'm going to keep it real with you. But Tucker is comforting her in the HOH room, saying, look, it's just a stupid game. It doesn't matter. I don't think the instigator is Tucker. If I'm guessing, my guess, okay? Because again, this is me, not the whole, like, you can disagree. I promise you can disagree, and that's okay. My guess is that it is Joseph. It sounds like it's Joseph. The information that was said makes it sound like it was Joseph to me. And throughout the day, there was definitely a little bit of behavior from Joseph that started to trigger other people to think that it was also potentially Joseph. So, like I said, Rubina goes up to the HOH and she is crying. Meanwhile, downstairs, everybody is on the couch except Joseph. Joseph is upstairs sleeping near the fish tank, but everyone else is on the couch talking about, again, what they heard the instigator said. Oh, it said holding hands. It said showmans. It said something about Rubina. It mentioned Tucker and that Rubina is out. And, you know, Quinn is over here speculating hardcore. Quinn actually clocks exactly what the instigator is.
America's player. Okay, so maybe there's America's player, and their prompt was to make a deepfake AI before the nomination ceremony. But it's like,
okay, they say it's America's vote. Quinn says, look, it's probably an America's player who had a deep fake where they can do stuff. Ding, 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 ding. So for a second I was like, is it Quinn? Is it Quinn? But no, the deep fake was of Quinn, but it's not Quinn. Like, I don't think it's Quinn. I think it's Joseph. They do get into like all kinds of speculation, which I loved. You know what? I will say this. I like twists if they invoke speculation, game talk, delusion. I am here for that. They even got into a point where they started speculating if it was someone who left. They were like, wait, is it Brooklyn? Could it possibly be Cedric? Like, they really, really thought it was somebody that left. And Joseph, of all people, was pushing that, oh yeah, Brooklyn is probably it. Keep that in mind. Because something about Joseph was a little sus yesterday. Now, MJ was saying, look, the powers ended week 4 because someone said, oh, maybe somebody else got called in and has like a secret power. But MJ's like, no, like all of our powers ended week 4. It's not one of us. You know, MJ was like, it ain't me. It ain't me. Please don't put it on me. Okay. But overall, yeah, they speculate that there is more powers, and they all sit on the couch for a very long time trying to figure out exactly what happened. So eventually, Chemo, T4, and Tucker, they kind of break off into a little conversation.
That also, I think maybe that, because it's only him right now.
It has to be something people saw. Or I guess now the word's been out.
Well, no. The holding hands thing? Nobody else, they were...
And they are speculating on if it's Quinn. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's too obvious to be Quinn. I also think if it was Quinn, he would not, in front of the whole house, say exactly what it is, exactly what the power is. To me, that seems a little bit too obvious for it to be Quinn. But they do think it was probably too obvious as well. After a while, when they keep talking, they think it's obvious. But they do say Quinn noticed us holding hands. But you have to also know, Quinn gave that information to Joseph. And Joseph is aware of that. So they can tell that it was not Chelsea, though. They don't think it was anybody that's not in one of their multiple alliances, because it just, the information that person likely wouldn't know. So feeds go back down again for nominations, because like I said, the feeds came back around 6 and then they went back down again until like 7 or 8, and then noms happened. So our noms are MJ, Cam, and Tucker. Okay. I mean, I think I'm fine with those noms. I think that for T-Core, that's probably the best thing she could have done. Now, Tucker, I ain't gonna hold you. I think he was a little bit shaken in his boots yesterday, thinking, wait a minute, maybe I'm not as safe as I think I am. So, Rubina and T-Core have a conversation.
In the scenario that it's if the scenario that's Cam and Tucker, what is your...
I'll vote with you and Chemo.
And Quinn joins, and Quinn apologizes for saying the things that the deepfake said. Quinn's like, I'm sorry about saying that stuff, even though I didn't. So at that point, that's when I clocked like, oh, the deepfake is of Quinn. He does not think that it is somebody that was already eliminated from the game. That just doesn't typically make sense. And I agree. I don't really see, because even Cedric and Brooklyn, they just didn't have that info. So I don't think the producer, like, it wouldn't even make sense that the producers would give them info like that. So Joseph and Quinn also have a conversation.
Oh, man, that was one reason. He told me, just between you and me, he told me that he thought you would be good for my game.
Yeah, I mean, he's right.
I try not to push too hard, but...
And Quinn wants to reassure Tucker that they're still good after he helped him last week. And, you know, it's not just a one-time thing where all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to go after you this week. He tried to talk game with Tucker, is what he told Joseph, but he didn't give an F. You know, he just does not want to work with Quinn. Now, Joseph tells Quinn that Tucker still does not trust him. And Joseph also talks about how Tucker said getting him out will be good for his game. And we know this because Tucker's always talking about how Quinn is the strongest game player in the house, how Quinn's the most dangerous, how Quinn is this, Quinn is that. Now, they're both shocked that Chemo was in 5 points, and they're discussing how Chemo is paranoid all the time. And we discussed that in previous videos, that Chemo is paranoid and sometimes get up to here. And then, you know, overall, Quinn's like, I don't really know what to do for him, but I just try to tell him, like, look, you're a good game player. You can win. Like, whenever this happens, I just try to talk him off the ledge. And it's like, yeah, there's not really much you can do. And I think for Chemo, especially last week, because he was on slop, I'm assuming he was just a little more on edge than usual. So Joseph says, look, we'd be stupid not to go after MJ. Again, there is that still that side of the house that is convinced that MJ is this like strong competitor who's going to pull out physical wins. And hey, we have yet to really see it. She won one thing. I'll give it to her, but we'll see. So Joseph and Leah, they are talking, and
I just wish I could fucking win. What's wrong with him?
Joseph is convinced that the hacker is Brooklyn. However, Joseph, I'm on your case, and I think you're trying to deflect because it's you. Now, they both want Cam to stay this week because they believe that they can, well, Joseph believes anyways, that he can beat Cam in one of these things, in his words, in one of the competitions. Again, he warns Leah about the T-Core Chemo Rubina trio, saying that they are dangerous, you know, watch out for them. And Leah says, look, I want something. So, you know, she really is trying to make an alliance with him so they can go to the end together. Now, Joseph once again takes credit for making sure that Leah wasn't up. He has been trying to get in Leah's good graces, saying, well, you know, I made sure with T-Core that you didn't go up. You know, I advocated for you. Remember that. Remember that I told T-Core nah. And once again, they talk about how T-Core refuses to put up Chelsea. It's just not an option for her. So yeah. Leah is planning to tell T-Core that she does not want to be on the block at all. She does not want to be the renom. She's not cool with that. And they talk a lot about Rubina and how she's a floater, how she's riding people's coattails, how she's not making moves. And I'm like, Leah, you're a floater. It's crazy how floaters be trying to call out other floaters. But Joseph does say he wants Tucker to stay in the game because Tucker can be a shield for him. Once Tucker leaves, then he is going to be the biggest threat. All right. So T-Core and Chemo, they have a conversation, a little check-in, and T-Core says she has no specific target this week.
Got Quinn. Got the friend season 6 happening with Tucker, Joseph, Angela, and stuff. So. And then also we have Chelsea, even though that's not an official alliance. Basically.
But she wants to have a talk later with friend Z to decide who they really want to go to the end with. And there is a lot of talk from T-Core again about, do I really want to go to the end with friend Z and 6th Avenue, or are those just fronts? Do we want to make something different? And that will come up a little later. So they also decide, realize they have Chelsea as a number, even though there's not an official alliance with her yet, they do have her as a number. So Rubina joins, and they just all three talk about how Rubina and Rubina and Chemo had volunteered to go up as pawns for T-Core if needed, how they're always there for her. And I'm like, I know y'all didn't volunteer to be pawns. I know y'all didn't volunteer to go on the block after you watched multiple people that volunteered to go on the block go home. Thank God T-Core didn't do that. Thank God. Somebody has a brain cell when it comes to this stuff. Okay. Tucker and Joseph. So Tucker and Joseph, they have a conversation.
I think straight today.
Yeah, you're good.
Sick or whatever, something about you. I just think that we're not close.
Okay, cool.
And then I don't know how trusting they are of you in the 6th Ave thing, but they still trust.
Tucker is telling Joseph, look, 6th Avenue is a little bit skeptical of you, so you might want to be careful how you're moving. And again, multiple people that Joseph is aligned with have told him, look, bruh, people are kind of skeptical of you because you don't really be talking to people. You kind of just do your own thing. You're just quiet. Same thing Tucker tells him, look, you're kind of just quiet. You keep to yourself. Again, I get it, but a lot of people may look at it a different way. Tucker does say, though, that he's been working them to make sure that they know Joseph's trustworthy. You know, he's not a threat, whatever. So Joseph tells Tucker that the other person he trusts most at this point is Leah. However, Tucker shuts that down a little and he's like, well, you do know that everything you tell her, she's telling someone else, right? He's like, I didn't want to say something, but I heard her and Chelsea having a long talk earlier and it was probably about some stuff you said. And Joseph's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't tell her as much then. All right. So not sure there if Joseph is going to cut that off or if he's going to keep it going with Leah. Don't really know. Now, Joseph says if it's Tucker next to Leah, he's definitely going to vote out Leah. And then Tucker says if it's Joseph next to Rubina, he would vote out Rubina. So that was interesting. And keep that in mind because Rubina also says something later on in the night. So T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina, they have a pretty long conversation.
I feel like lots of people are trying to keep their people in.
Yeah, I know.
If you isolate too much.
I think he feels super safe with us.
Yeah, it's like he'll find something to be loyal to and he'll just stick with that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
If he feels loyal, like,
They talk about a lot how Quinn and MJ have been trying to involve themselves with more people, probably because they're getting worried that they may possibly go home. So Joseph, but they are talking about again how Joseph isolates a lot. And as multiple people, Quinn, Tucker, have told Joseph, like, people are starting to get sus of you because you really don't talk to anybody. So they say, hey, look, maybe that's a good thing because he feels super safe with us, which means he's not going to really like try to go after us or have any reason to feel threatened by us. But obviously it's not great when it comes to like alliance talks because you don't really know where his head's at. So T-Core says, look, guys, I don't know, but are we riding it to the end with 6th Avenue? Are we riding it to the end with, Frenzy? Or are these just kind of like fronts, what's the real deal? And they're all kind of like, Now, Rubina speaks up and she does say, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't really care if like Angela is a casualty. I mean, they're obviously all aware that Tucker really likes Angela, but for them, they're like, meh, okay. Now, T-Core says we could potentially use the veto on somebody, maybe not necessarily this week, but at some point in order to bring them in as a number. And Rubina's like, oh, do you mean like Chelsea? And T-Core's like, no, I'm not really talking about anyone in particular right now, but that could just be an idea in the future. So, now Tucker thinks that Quinn threw the comp. He was telling them like that Tucker thinks that Quinn threw the comp, and they're all like, no, he just sucks at memory comps. Like, it's not that. And T-Core's like, yo, the stories that Tucker be making up in his head, they be sending me sometimes. But T-Core says, look, I feel like 6th Avenue is kind of like the collective, where it's just a group of people who don't all really trust each other, who, it's not really a group that genuinely wants to work together. It's just a group that's kind of been cobbled together. And Rubina says, look, I could do without Joseph and Angela. I'd rather throw Chelsea in as a number. So Rubina also says, look, Joseph is very self-interested and, he kind of does the bare minimum to get by in the game. And I'm assuming she means socially, which again, biggest complaint of Joseph in the house is that he just really doesn't try socially with people. He just kind of sits back and does his own thing. And at the end of the day, Big Brother is a social game. I think the reason why Joseph has had such a target on his back throughout this whole game is because he hasn't made an opportunity to like try to connect with other people on a level that's not just, okay, are we good? Are we good in the game? Are we good in the game? So again, I think especially with a lot of the girls, that is something they're looking for. So Rubina says if it comes down to it and it's Joseph and Tucker and they have to be voted out, she is fine with voting them out. She's cool with giving them the boot. And ultimately, they want to try to get Quinn and Chelsea in an alliance with them and Tucker. That's like, at least in this conversation, that is what they want. Where they want to bring in Quinn and Chelsea, take out Angela, kind of just, nah. So they were going to bring up Quinn and Chelsea to ask them, but then Rubino got called to the DR, so they didn't. So my thing with this is I am not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying that they should or they shouldn't. But my thing is, I just feel like T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina need to be careful because people are going to start to realize that they are burning them. And I don't think that they realize that you can't just say, I don't like these people anymore. Let's bring these people in now. And like, people aren't going to start to be like, wait a minute. I think it already happened once with the collective and they were able to get away with it, especially because T-Core got in power this week. Good for her. But I think overall, I just think that they need to be very careful about how many swaps they're doing because people are going to start to talk. I don't know, maybe with this house, maybe not. Anyway, that is kind of where we leave off the night with them being a little bit iffy on things. Now let's get into it. So Chelsea and Leah discuss who could be the instigator. They really thought it was Quinn because he saw the hand holding, and Leah claims she's going to start interrogating people and getting answers. So we'll see about that. Joseph reveals he has a crush on Leah. Rubina picked up on the fact that Joseph did not talk to anyone that day and speculates he could be the deepfake. Well, Chemo's like, deepfake. It's like, so people are on to you, Joseph. You might want to be careful. Now, T-Core tells Chemo and Rubina that using the veto on someone could bring them in as a number. Already talked about that. And then T-Core and Chemo also talk about, again, more about this potential alliance that they propose of them three plus Chelsea, Quinn, and potentially Tucker. However, they're not so sure about Tucker because he runs his mouth. So they're not 100% sure about putting Tucker into this new alliance that they are discussing. And lastly, T-Core says to Rubina, look, I see me, you, and Chemo as a trio, because Rubina says, well, people see you and Chemo as a duo. And she's like, no, I see us as a trio, the three of us. So that is where we are at, where Tucker might be on the outs and Quinn and Chelsea might be on the ins. So like I said, with this house, things change every 12 hours. So, you know, what I told y'all yesterday in the recap may not even be valid today. Anyways, if you got to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So please help me to drum up engagement on these videos by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, share the videos with other people in your life that watch Big Brother. Also, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you have the bell on so you know when I drop these recaps daily. And make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is on that funny stuff. Anyways, I am so grateful for y'all. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you to every single one of you guys that comes every single day. It genuinely makes my day. And I don't want anybody to think that this is not a safe space for you to speak. So as I said, let's all please try to be very respectful to each other in the comments and things as such. Okay, but anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!